Olá pessoal, estamos de volta aqui para o nosso podcast da Oncologia DOR, direto do nosso Onco-Rio, Congresso da Oncologia, patrocinado pela Rede DOR e pela Oncologia DOR. Estamos na nossa 10ª edição e agora a gente tem aqui um convidado ilustre vindo dos Estados Unidos. Ele é CMO do Serviço de Patologia e de Desenvolvimento de todas as partes de inteligência artificial e diagnóstico, principalmente voltado para a patologia. Uma grande figura, está trazendo várias inovações para a gente aqui, Dr. Eric Walk. Ele vai estar com a gente aqui falando um pouquinho sobre como a patologia vem crescendo e se desenvolvendo nesse processo de digitalização e de uso da inteligência artificial. Hello, Dr. Eric. Thank you so much for to be with us here. It's a pleasure for us receiving you here as a speaker, as a person. So it's very important for us having you and know about everything you have been doing in your career, and now with a very partnership with Rede DOR. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me to the podcast. It's really a true pleasure for me to attend the Rede DOR Oncology Conference, the 10th annual. It's my first time to Rio, and I have to say I've been very impressed with the conference and Rio. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you so much. It's a rainy day. Probably tomorrow will be better. I hope you have some time to know Rio in sunny day, but Rio, it's marvelous. I was born in São Paulo and I moved to Rio, so I love Rio. I'm suspect to say, but Rio is one of the best cities in the world. So, Dr. Eric, I would like to ask to you how AI it's important in pathology and how the company and the partnership you have been doing between Rede DOR and your company, it's an important process in terms of diagnosis and in terms of develop for the oncology care.
Yep. So some background for your listeners. So I'm a pathologist. I was trained in anatomic pathology in the US, but I've spent most of my career working for precision medicine companies on the pharma side, on the Roche Diagnostics, and then for 3.5 years with PathAI, which is a digital and AI pathology company based in Boston, Massachusetts. And PathAI was founded by a pathologist named Dr. Andy Beck, who trained at Stanford, and he had a lab at Harvard, and was really Andy's vision to create a company to utilize AI technology, machine learning technology, and focus it on challenges in pathology, both for clinical medicine, so to help patients directly and improve outcomes, but also for research, including pharmaceutical research. So how can we use AI to run better clinical trials so drugs can be developed faster for patients with less time and less effort? And what's very exciting is that here in 2025, we see this vision really coming true. So on the clinical side, all around the world, pathology laboratories are going digital. They're converting their glass slides and their microscopes into digital technologies. And of course, that includes Rede DOR. So it's been a very positive partnership that we announced earlier this year. And this was championed by Dr. Fernando Suarez, who's the head of pathology here at Rede DOR, who's a dear friend of mine. I've known him for almost 20 years.
Two amazing guys.
And I think what's amazing is that Fernando and I and our founder, Andy Beck, we all share the same vision of a future of improved pathology. So it's not just about cool technology. It's about improving how pathologists do their work on the behalf of clinicians, like oncologists, and also patients. So any errors in pathology, any inefficiency has the potential to be negative for patient outcomes. So we want to eliminate those things as best we can using any technology, but now AI allows us the possibility to both improve efficiency, but also improve reproducibility and accuracy, and really deliver better information to the clinicians who are taking care of the patients, and of course to the patients directly.
So you are giving better access for a lot of people and better process to be more efficient for these physicians and also for the patients. So the technology, it's being a very new big picture, the possibilities to bring our patients fast diagnosis, a better diagnosis, and specialized diagnosis. Just bring it for the past, microscopy and everything we made to do the diagnostic. And now you can use the digital image and everything to be faster and more efficient.
That's right. And I'll give one example. So I just gave a presentation that was sponsored by Fernanda Moll. And it was about how can we use AI in precision medicine. And I gave several examples. So for example, precision medicine is driven by the interpretation of biomarkers by pathologists. These are biomarkers like HER2 and PD-L1, and then new biomarkers that pharmaceutical companies and diagnostic companies are creating. But one challenge is that some of these biomarkers are very challenging, very time-consuming for pathologists to interpret. So how can we use AI not to replace the pathologists, but help them, assist the pathologists in how these biomarkers are interpreted and scored? Some of them require counting of cells, and no pathologist wants to count, so let the AI do the counting. And then the pathologist at the end can decide whether the AI advice is correct or incorrect.
Makes sense. Totally.
Right, that's right. So this is very important to acknowledge. This is not about replacing pathologists. It's about helping pathologists to do their work better. But the pathologist, very importantly, is still in control.
So more than just do the diagnosis, you are putting all the possibilities of the diagnosis together. So it's be easier to not only to pathologists, but the oncologist, the clinician, take a decision to do the better treatment for our patients.
Exactly. Yeah. Another example that I talked about in my my lecture was the problem of information overload. So today in 2025, it's a good thing that we have so much information, molecular patient information, clinical trial data, the scientific literature, new guidelines coming from societies.
Something new.
Right. The problem is, how can an individual pathologist or an individual oncologist taking care of a patient read all the literature or know all the FDA-approved drugs or know all the FDA-approved biomarkers? It literally is impossible. So can we use AI like large language models or other generative AI tools, like I talked about, vision language models? Can we use these, again, as tools for pathologists to help integrate this information together so they have it at their fingertips and so it can make recommendations? But again, they're in control. So the AI may say, oh, did you know this tumor type recently had an FDA approval last week and you should run this test that will connect to that therapy.
Amazing.
So this is, about closing some of the knowledge gaps that could prevent the best practice of medicine.
It is about access. If you have a physician in the last part of the country, in the main centers, they have the same information, the same direction. So technology can help everything to everyone have the same assistance.
I completely agree. Another way to say that is AI can democratize the knowledge, so that a pathologist and oncologist in a rural part of the world can practice the same quality of medicine as the Memorial Sloan Kettering or the Mayo Clinic. That is the vision.
Amazing.
That is the vision.
And talking about the vision, how do you see the future? We are here in a very differential time, but what's coming on? What in your view?
Yeah, and this is what's tremendously exciting, because with AI, as we all know, the technology is advancing very quickly. ChatGPT, believe it or not, is ubiquitous today, but it was only launched in 2022.
Just
so
2 years.
the technology continues to evolve very quickly. There's a technology that I talk about in my lecture, agentic AI. So AI agents that can be autonomous, make decisions, think on their own, help with complex project execution. So the future is extremely bright, and I don't think we can even dream, I think, of what will be possible just in a few years. But right now, we're focused on how do we even use the existing technologies to help patients in precision medicine, in clinical care, by exactly what we've talked about. It's about making an efficient diagnosis from the pathology point of view, but also the best diagnosis, the best information that will help the patient and help the clinician help the patient.
On 2012, I went to the Singularity University, and I heard Peter Diamond talking about the exponential medicine. And we are talking 12 years ago, probably, and I'm seeing now a lot of things he said that at that time. So it's been so fast, so different. And he said about 2035, 2040, and we are having now. Do you think the AI development is the responsible for that, to be faster, the capability we have to learn and have more information in this process of development in terms of diagnosis and better data and using better data to do our approach for our patients?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's not only having faster processing of existing data, which I think it will definitely help with, but it's also creating new data that never existed before. So another concept that I talked about in the last session was pathologists usually look through the microscope at a glass slide, and I see patterns of cells and tissues. And I can describe it in language, but I cannot quantify things. I cannot measure fine distances between cells and tissues. This is what AI is very good about. So it's a way to take a unstructured type of data, which is histopathology data, glass slides and cells and tissues, and structuring that data. Just like you would have structured data with genomics or transcriptomics. So I think that is an opportunity to essentially discover this new type of data that I'll call it morphology or morphomics or histomic data, where the way the cells and tissues look, the morphology, is the ultimate expression of genes, gene expression. So that's what's very exciting, this new data form that we can now conduct studies with, make new discoveries, and again, with the goal being better tools for patients, better ways to predict therapy response and other important endpoints. So it's very exciting on this data discovery front.
And last words now about your Congress. How do you think about your Congress?
I have to say, I am incredibly impressed with the Diretor Oncology Conference. To be honest, I came here to Rio for my first time expecting a relatively small conference, but this is a very large conference, I would say, and I've told many people, I consider this in size and in quality to be a mini ASCO. American Society for Clinical Oncology. There's 10,000 people here this year. ASCO was about 45,000. So it's getting there. But I think what is the most impressive is the content. I've been to several talks, and I think the topics are cutting edge. The speakers are high quality. The discussion sections are really covering the critical issues in healthcare and oncology. And so I've found it very rewarding to attend. And I gave 3 talks here, and the questions that were asked to me, some of these questions I've never heard before, very insightful questions.
Terrific.
So the people who are coming here are clearly the leaders of the field of oncology. I've also had the pleasure to meet medical students. So I love that the younger generation of physicians are here learning from the experts in oncology, because these students are our future, right? So they should be here and learning. So I think that's wonderful as well. But it's been such a pleasure to be here. I've really enjoyed it.
Dr. Eric, thank you so much. You are very kind. It was amazing to have this conversation. I hope you can be with us in next year and another years, because I know we have a lot of new things to learn, and we hope we will stay together for many times to growing together. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you again for the invitation to join this podcast. And thank you to the whole organization, including Dr. Suarez and Fernanda Moll, for the invitation to be here and present at this wonderful Congress.
Thank you. A gente está finalizando aqui esse espetacular bate-papo com o Dr. Eric. Espero que vocês aproveitem e a gente vai se ver no próximo episódio. Até lá.